Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. I am your humble host, Dave Smith, and this is the sixth rant, so you can say that. This one will be entitled Don't Mention It, and I'm going to get into various reasonings into why I'm calling this Don't Mention It. And it's because everything about this latest episode, which was complete filler, by the way, they could have saved us this 60-minute trash. Y'all could have saved it for the trash heap. It was a waste of my hour. But you know what? If I can stretch another video out of it for my community, I'm going to do that because I actually care about my audience, unlike Big Brother. But anyway, I am your humble host, Dave Smith, Pretty Boy Smitty, Protocol Paul, Pearl Game, Ultra Smith Dog Trill. You know what it is. And I'm peeping game. In this little community we call YouTube, in the community we call Big Brother fandom, in the community we call just being super fans of the game. What you have what I like to call creators, and then you have what I like to call parasites. Have you all noticed ever since I've come into this game, ever since I've come into this lane, all of a sudden, all these other channels want to use the word rant in their videos? Have y'all noticed that? Just something that I thought I should throw out there, because there's a lot of people leeching off of my videos, off of my critical thinking, that wait for my video to drop so they can drop theirs, basically taking notes on all the facts I bring up. You know, I'm peeping game on what y'all are doing. And it's more than just one person, so don't think I'm just sneak dissing one individual, but I'm peeping game. And these are the same type of people that want to send people to your comment section and say they brought you here, but in reality, you want that free marketing and advertisement in my comment section. See, I'm just a few steps ahead. You know, the bullshit is going to stop here. But I just wanted to go ahead and address that real fast because there are a lot of people that low-key aren't being themselves. They're trying to be more like me. Be yourself. See, I'm one of the only rant gods when it comes to Big Brother or Survivor. I'm one of the only ones out here. Okay, a lot of people, they just get a little tipsy and they just talk with run-on sentences, but they don't really put together any real strategy talk because they don't really understand the game. But why did I point out all of this? Because this episode is all about mentions. This episode that we just watched was all about people discussing you. The more polarizing you are, the more you're naturally gonna be talked about. See, people criticize the stuff I do all the time. They try to tell me, oh, everything isn't about race. And then I'll get the comments from certain haters who clearly want to give me a paragraph of what they didn't like. Then they give me one sentence saying, but good content. Wait a minute. If the content was good, why did you invest all this time in what you hated, my good sir? You know, I would like to see some positivity too. But I have a feeling me pointing out a lot of these things is making you agitated. So that's as much energy as I'm going to give y'all because I really love my haters as much as I love the fans. Because if it wasn't for the haters, I wouldn't get the views either. But this episode was complete filler. And I'm going to break down why I think now. And see, I've already been building up my case for why this machine shit was created to help Sam's game. But I'm going to break it down even further why I believe they chose to release this machine twist into the game week 1 to stifle Swaggy C's momentum. Now, hear me out. Ooh, see, you can't be me. You can't be me because these takes come out of left field. Now, hear me out here. They went out of their way to make sure Swaggy C would walk into this game wearing a t-shirt with his nickname on it, right? Right. They knew this would alienate and ostracize him to a lot of more conservative house guests, right? Right. These are the same house guests that go in confessional work to say Swaggy C's nickname in a negative connotation, right? Right. Okay. So what case am I building here? Well, if this entire crap app and power app or whatever the hell they call the app that's meant to make you overpowered and get a Paul Beta-Hamian award. Well, anyway, okay. So you mean to tell me on a season that is about mentions, you give us the one black person who clearly is going to get the most mentions week 1. So you create a brand new twist that will force people to discuss it because it's something they never seen before. That way it can usurp this brother and guarantee he can't get, what's the twist called? Extra life? What? Bonus life? Now really think to yourselves. We didn't expect this brother to get a twist like that. We didn't. In fact, we're perfectly fine with him having this week safe. Don't get the game twisted, coach. But I can't help but connect the dots here. that CBS went out of their way to make sure someone they wanted would be the one in this machine, because they would be the test dummy for it, which would determine how they would put it in and implement it into every episode from this point further. So she is that test dummy. So she has to be rewarded for being a lab rat. So what do they reward her with? Well, prospectively, possibly 4 straight weeks of safety. This feels a lot like the Netta Kalantar ability. Now, people are saying, well, this is more like Jess from last season, Dave, because once she uses it, it's gone. But here's the thing. Even if she can't reveal what it can do, the next person that walks into that room, I need answers from CBS here. If they walk into that room expecting to get a power app, is all of them going to light up? Or is the one that's already been taken going to not have no backlight behind it, telling them that someone in the game has 2 lives? Because then that creates extra drama. And then it makes people at least have an idea of what that twist could be. What I have a feeling they'll do is they're going to keep that backlight on that motherfucker to keep people sent off of it being a double life. And it seems like Tyler is one of the few people who actually know what Sam is, what power she may or may not have. He doesn't really know. She didn't really tell him the truth, but in so many words, she basically said, I'm not going nowhere. And see, the reason why I'm sculpting this entire rant around Sam is because it's very important to provide context. Because in this episode, I saw a lot of hate. I saw a group of 6 people come together and admit the only person they want to target is Swaggy C. So you mean to tell me no one else on that side you have a problem with? And here's the thing. We saw evidence in this episode that Sam has a reason to hate Caitlyn. A lot of people have a reason to hate Caitlyn. But Caitlyn gets none of this vitriol and none of the edit. And they do this on purpose. The only vitriol she got was when Sam put her in her damn place, which is what I want to get into right now. Now, I'm going to jump in between some live feeds talk because I've been doing my homework. Y'all know how I gets down. And I know a lot of people weren't that happy with Thursday night's episode. Some were, some weren't. That's how these rants go when you make predictions. You're not going to make everybody happy. They're predictions. Okay, I will risk it all to make the right prediction, the same way that I would risk that I wouldn't find satisfaction in risking nothing if I weren't to risk it. You know what I'm saying? But it comes with the terrain. So basically, to provide some context, the reason why Sam said what she said to Caitlyn, and it's been answered by Swaggy C today. Oh, the tea is all out. It's scalding. Okay, if you're not following feeds at this point, just to follow what Swaggy C is doing, I mean, it's very funny. Okay, so Swaggy C basically aired it all out. Caitlyn has a boyfriend at home, but she wants Faisal. And I refuse to call a grown man Fessy, so I'm calling him Faisal, goddammit. But anyway, Caitlyn has a crush on Faisal. Faisal clearly is feeling Haley, but Haley is playing this Allison game, okay? BB4 Allison, okay? She's playing this type of BB4 Allison type of game where she's flirting with all of these dudes. And see, here's the thing. Tyler already sees what's going on. He's peeping game early. And I got to give Tyler credit. You know, I had some harsh things to say about him, but he deserved all them harsh fucking things. For people to tell me, for people to try to damage control the criticism that he deserved for that episode. See, I think a lot of times when I criticize someone, people think I'm criticizing the human being. I'm criticizing the character, okay? So y'all need to just chill out here. The character is meant to look how production edits them to look. So I am criticizing the edgic of it, okay? Now, in terms of when it comes to Tyler, okay, Tyler sees it too. And see, if Haley is going to flirt with Brett, Tyler, and Faisal, it's pissing off Faisal. Faisal's trying to lock that down. Haley is like, why are you tripping, bro? I'm playing my game. But see, here's the thing, though. I think it's better for Haley's game to keep doing exactly what she's doing because she'll never get targeted by either side. Okay, she's almost incentivized never to go all in with Faisal in this situation. And I feel bad for Faisal for that alone, because I can tell he won that veto to try to separate himself from the competition. That's what alpha males do. In a way, I'd argue Swaggy C by winning those first 2 competitions. He definitely made Bailey's head turn a little bit. You feel me? Now imagine if he didn't win a damn thing. Would he still be in the brother-sister situation? And he's actually admitted the reason why he called her his sister was because he didn't want to compromise his game by being an initiate. At the end of the day, I'm willing to believe the brother at this point because she is all over him. And I'm not saying that to say nothing negative about her, but I want to give them a clap. And while I understand that there are people who don't like this show, man's in the Black community, I get it. It's a catch-22 thing. Now that they're so out and open about it, they're even more of an overwhelming threat. But we knew they were an overwhelming threat anyway. All right. I already told y'all what they were going to do when they're setting up Swaggy, and they made sure this first twist couldn't go to him. Let me state that one more time. They made sure it couldn't go to him. And that is exactly why I want to say this right now to everyone in RBR. Hold everyone in this community accountable if anyone says this, because I said it first. If Swaggy C ever gets one of these crap apps because of the least amount of mentions, it's a lie. It's a lie. Racists hate him and Black folks love him. Okay, between those two demographics alone, he's being mentioned just as much as Sam. I'd argue he's still being mentioned more than Sam because people can't get his dick out of their mouth. I'm listening to certain outlets, which I won't name for various reasons, that discuss Big Brother, and they're calling Swaggy C soggy. You know, just the way they go about shitting on this brother, it's a certain hate to it that's new level, next level. And I think it's because he is showing them, all right, he might be wrong about his opinions on certain things regarding Big Brother. He might be wrong about when the feeds come on. But at the end of the day, he's much more intelligent than they thought this brother would be in those interviews. So now they got to strip him down a little bit more down the sides. If we're cocky, it's a problem. If someone else is cocky, it isn't. Oh, they're fierce. You know, these different adjectives that get used when it's convenient. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I'm watching what Swaggy C is doing. He's actually playing a solid game if him and Bailey once again didn't tell the world they were into each other. It's a solid game. But now they're at the point now where they'll hug each other for 20 seconds at a time. The cat's out the bag now. And see, I stressed to y'all that I wanted Faisal and Haley to hook up with who I want to call Swaley, by the way. I think it's a clean nickname, mainly because there's a rapper from Ray Schwimmer called Sway Lee. But I think if you say it faster, it doesn't sound like you're saying that, Swaley. But I just thought that was a decent like hashtag. Maybe someone else came up with that. I'm not going to take credit for that. It just came to my head a little bit earlier today. But at the end of the day, I like their showmans. I think they balance each other out. The problem is when you have the Caitlins of the world who are player hating on Haley, you got a boyfriend at the crib. But you don't want Faisal sleeping with Haley, but you don't want Faisal sleeping with you because you got a man. So in reality, she just hedging. It's like she one of those type of women who only want what she can't have, and when she knows she can have it, she don't want it. Okay. And at the end of the day, hey, Faisal didn't win this veto to impress you, Caitlyn, and know your place. And Caitlyn's biggest problem is I think she feels too comfortable. I think she can see the dynamic in front of her and go, there's no way I'll go next out of all of these other people. They might be tired of me, but I'm no real threat to anyone directly. And I think because she has that certain level of comfort that makes her less anxious, it makes her say things that are so unnecessary. Like what she said to Sam, oh, just focus on winning the veto, girl. Just focus on it. That's not what Sam wants to hear in that moment. You should have just played it off. But did y'all notice in this episode? see, in the last rant, I was alluding to the fact that I think production may have done a house shutdown to make sure Sam could have some alone time with Tyler, the eventual HOH. But I think he was the HOH already when she spoke to him. Well, did you notice how in today's episode, they went out of their way to let Sam basically send Angie Rockstar on a mission to send one person in one by one? That's something usually a HOH does. Someone with some power, some type of leverage. They're the ones usually giving orders. Sam is so full of herself because she knows at this point with this power, she can't be touched, that she's literally sending people to go get people to talk to her. Now, I get it. Oh, she's in a machine, Dave. She can't travel everywhere she wants to. It's the nice thing to do. But if we're going to admit that Caitlyn could have spoke nicer to Sam, surely we can admit Sam should have spoke nicer to Angie, right? But no one seems to shit on Sam for her disrespect because she could have that southern hospitality to go with it. And then people go, oh, that's so cute. And they let that shit ride. And see, here's the thing. Sam is one of my picks. Y'all watch the draft if y'all watching this video. And I got to be honest with y'all. I'm not impressed with any of my picks after watching live feeds. Brett, I'm getting so annoyed by him. Like, there was this one moment where he was laying out on a pool on like a floaty, okay? And Caitlin is sitting there like in between the hot tub and a pool, okay? Like in that little indentation in between. And he said something that made her sad. And this is earlier today, by the way. And then right after he made her sad, he said something like, oh, do you want to sit on my lap so you can feel better about it? I was like, whoa, this dude is exceeding exorbitant levels of just douchebaggery that I've never seen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? Even I saw that and I was like, I gotta hold this motherfucker accountable. Okay. That was as misogynist of a comment as it gets. Okay. What the hell was that, Brett? I drafted you, my brother. What the hell is this? Then you got Rachel, who I thought by the edit was playing a great game. Along with Sam and Caitlin, I'd argue Rachel is the most annoying house guest in the house to most people, no matter what side of the house you're on. Because, and let me provide some context, Rockstar can't stand none of these girls. Well, any of the girls on the other side, she can't stand them. I think she's okay with Casey on the right day. But for the most part, if it's Angela, if it's Rachel, she can't stand them. And honestly, I'm starting to understand why. Okay. And see, I'm starting to like Rockstar, and I didn't think I would. But I heard a conversation she was having with the brother Swaggy C earlier today. I mean, you could tell Angie has been in the hood a few times. You could tell, like, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter where she is, she can mingle. I think she actually has very high upside after a Steve leaves. I think that actually helps her game. I think Scotty's in more trouble than Angie is directly if Steve leaves. And right now it's looking like Steve will leave because the veto, to give you guys a quick spoiler, Faisal has won the veto, okay? And they've already basically explained that this veto is going to have snakes in it. It's going to have paintball guns in it. I can't wait to see Wednesday night's episode. See, I think they gave us the shitty episode because they know Wednesday night's going to be that shit. Okay, I think this is like the calm before the storm. This is almost like Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1. You know what I mean? Who liked that movie? No one, right? Like, this is that. This is the intro to the main course. So we had to sit through this to appreciate what happens next. But yes, so Faisal has veto. And because he has veto, he has power. But Faisal, my brother, you need to be careful too, because you're talking to people like, oh man, the 9 of us, we're going to go straight to jury. Chill, bro. Always stay humble, my brothers. Remain humble. You won one competition, my dog. You won one competition. Okay. You know, and there was another thing I wanted to get into as well regarding Tyler, but I can save that for a little bit later because I think the way I got it wrote in my notes is, oh yeah, Tyler with the crying thing, the crying on demand thing. Do y'all see what I'm saying now, man? Tyler is aware. At this point, he's aware of the social dynamic. First off, that was one of the fakest cries ever. If I'm an undercover officer, I see that and I go, oh, that's pretty fake. I mean, you walk up, you turn your head, you lay down, and all of a sudden, and then motherfuckers is like, Tyler, stand up, bro. Sit up. Then all of a sudden, like, come on, bro. Like, you didn't care about that. But kudos to you for playing the game. And right now, it feels like Tyler is in the strongest position in the house. He's playing the Mitchell Moffitt Mighty Middle game. I just didn't have a problem with how he came up with the excuses and justification for the edit for turning on Bailey, when at the time he didn't have a legit reason. You know what I'm saying? That was my number one problem. But at the end of the day, though, in terms of a game player, I think he is showing the highest trajectory currently because he has all the information. He's basically into alliances. And Swaggy C, my brother, you need to be very careful with the information that you give to Tyler, because you're giving him this information thinking, oh, he's definitely with us because he didn't put up Bailey. But my brother, if you tell him too much information, he's going to know when to strike at you. You feel me? And that's my biggest problem. It seems like they are setting Swaggy up. And did you notice in today's episode, another house guest called him dumb? We've heard Caitlyn call him an idiot in the episode before. So they're going out of their way to air all of these different people all coming to the same accord to an agreement that this one black man is an idiot. When I'm being honest, on these feeds, he's not an idiot, man. He's not an idiot. He's just a little bit too direct. That's his problem. He's too direct. He's too blunt. He's too to the point. And he might say the N-word a little bit too much too. I'll hold him accountable for that part. But outside of that, though, the brother has done nothing to make people think he isn't very intelligent. And I think I owe it to him to say that much. Now, what I don't really get is, why does Angela only blame Swaggy C for why she's a target by the other side? That's a question that I had. Because when I'm watching this episode, I am just waiting for Angela to at least tell us there's someone else on this side of the house she doesn't like. She never once said anything bad about anyone else. It's always Swaggy C. Stop blaming this one brother for the problem you have with multiple people. We all know Angela don't like Angie, but why won't she say it? Right? She won't even speak on it in the DR. Now, maybe it doesn't fit the current narrative because Angie isn't really a central part of this week's narrative. Maybe they'll hold on to some stuff added later down the road to justify what they do to Rockstar. I don't know, but I just think it's very bizarre. This is one of the first seasons where they do not explain what problem they have. See, you have to have a huge problem in order to have the entire house split into two. You have to have a huge problem with multiple people. But right now, they are literally just trying to chalk it up as, we don't like y'all because y'all chose to be minions for the black dude. That is the narrative. There has not been a different change-up pitch thrown to show us, oh, they got a problem with them because they did this, they did that. And I guarantee you in the next episode, after Faisal wins veto, they're going to be even more mad, okay? Even more mad. And see, and I actually want to bring this up, okay? This is a conversation I heard Chris having to the live feeders as well. I doubt anyone's going to speak on this, but it's necessary for me to. And the reason why I spoke on how comfortable Angie is around black people, I was setting a red herring down for right now. So remember in 2 rants ago, I brought up the whole Angela banana thing. Oh, I'm not going to get in detail on that. Don't leave me, guys. I'm bringing up this to say one thing. The person that I told all of you that I think Angela was put in this game to showmance was who? Winston, right? Winston so far, along with Brett, has showed himself to be the staunchest douche and the one who is against the other faction the most within that 6-person alliance, right? Okay. I set that land grant and I set that land down. I'm doing this on purpose. That way y'all can't rebuttal what I'm finna say. Why did Swaggy C admit on feeds, and why did they cut the feeds off as soon as he said it, that Winston threw an orange at Rockstar and acted like it was on accident? Now, this guy happens to be on an alliance where you have to be pretty much white to get in. You got to have a white identification card to be in his alliance. Ding! The girl who he may or may not have a showmance with just brought a banana to a brother who beat her in a competition. Ding! And then Rockstar, the one lady on this show who is a little too cool with being around the brothers like that, gets an orange thrown at her. See, at this point, we got to be honest with ourselves. They are playing real subtle race games. Now, I don't know what Angie's lineage is. I don't know what her culture is, okay? But if I were to just look at her for a split second and look away, I might think Latina. There has been stereotypes in the past about what? Latin people picking oranges. Now, people are going to say, Dave, you're reaching too hard. But when you got a guy throwing a fucking orange at a woman, first off, you shouldn't be throwing an orange at nobody. Now, there's going to be people in the comments section, oh, he did it on accident. I saw it on the feeds, blah, 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 blah. Hey, look, if you hit me with a damn fruit in Big Brother, it was by design. The same way when LeBron walked past Eric Spoelstra and shoulder bumped him. It was by design, coach. Nothing happens on accident, big brother. Your mind is moving at all times. He's mad at her for choosing that side, and he thinks she should be on their side. I truly believe that's what happened subconsciously. Sometimes your thoughts can manifest into actions that don't make sense. And when your alliance has the thought pattern of people and caricatures that are meant to make the racist viewing public enjoy them specifically, then yes, I have to connect these dots. But see, that's something people aren't discussing. Orange Gate. That's what I'm going to call it. There's Banana Gate and there's Orange Gate. Okay. So two different fruits are used in some way to shame another person. And see, I understand why Angie blew up on a dude. From what Chris said, Angie blew up on him. I didn't see the video clip specifically, but I know for a fact that it happened because more than one person has discussed it on the feeds. So, so you got Angie already not feeling Rachel and Angela, and then that happens to her from Winston. Okay, so it goes to show you this alliance is full of cowards. They're full of cowards. Okay, I'm gonna bring you a banana and I'm gonna throw an orange at you just because we don't like who you're aligned to. Come on, man. We can do better than this, big brother. We can do better than this. And I guarantee you they don't show the scene with the orange, but they definitely showed the scene with the banana when they didn't have to. See, big brother, they on their game now because they know we noticing shit now. They ain't gonna get away with the same stuff as before. Okay, but all right. So the next thing that I would like to talk about is, at the end of the day, okay, I wanted to talk about essentially some more feeds talk, but regarding the entire Swaggy C thing. So after the veto competition, when the feeds come back on, right, everyone has all of these welts on their backs, on their bodies. We don't know what's going on at first. At least I didn't. Turns out these were paintball welts, okay, from the veto competition that I mentioned previously. Now, the reason why I want to bring up this conversation that happened, because I thought it was very interesting, and I think Steve is starting to out himself maybe as a police officer of some kind. Now, if I was in the room with him when this conversation was going on, I definitely would have, my antennas would have went up. So to set the scene, they're in the bathroom. It's Steve talking to Swaggy C post-veto competition. Now, up to this point, we haven't seen anyone go into the bathroom or leave the bathroom for about 10, 15 minutes. So why when Swaggy C is talking to Steve and all of a sudden the conversation starts changing towards talking about the paintball part of the competition, and Steve starts talking about the caliber of the paintball gun and how big it was and what he think it may have been used as or something. I was like, Steve, why are you getting into such detail about this gun? You're supposed to be a mechanic, my brother. Not saying a mechanic doesn't know his guns, but at the end of the day, though, he shouldn't even be partaking in these conversations, because slowly but surely people are going to go, wow, he speaks so damn clearly and so fast about guns, but when it comes to the mechanic shit, he kind of talks as he goes a little bit. Okay, so I'm worried for Steve that they're finding that out. Now, it might not make a difference because he's probably gone on Thursday, but I thought it was interesting how Winston, of all people, pops out of the bathroom as they're talking about guns just so he can join the conversation about guns. And you know what Swaggy C is basically saying stuff like, hey man, I don't rock with no damn snakes and none of that, man. You know, I've been shot at before, but I ain't rocking with snakes. Bet they put that into the edit though, of Swaggy C saying I've been shot at before. Anything to put the brother in a bad light, because remember what I said about the day trader thing. And there's been other little platforms that have spoke on this as well. See, I try to jump in front of this stuff. See, a lot of times when I say stuff, people think, all right, come on, Dave, don't even give them the idea to use that against the brother. No, I do it to jump in front of it. That way, if they use it, we can at least have reinforcements ready to be able to combat the stuff. You feel me? That's how I look at it. You feel me? Let me think of every single thing a person could say about me. Now that I got reinforcements and reactions ready for them, then they can't say shit. It's like 8 Mile with Eminem. You feel it, dig me? But anyway, but yeah, you know, I was so I also wanted to point this out. Faisal ended up choosing an app that sounded like it could be pork. Now, I thought this was very intelligent on his part, considering he's Muslim. He probably assumed because he's Muslim, he wouldn't have to eat it. So I thought that was interesting by him picking that. Now, maybe maybe he picked that because at the end of the day, he knew if he picks that, maybe it makes the other house guests look at him differently. Maybe they look at him like, oh, you know, he came to play or something. I don't know. But I will say this, though. If I'm someone who thought Faisal was just somebody who didn't have a brain before, now I'm thinking he might have one for picking that, because that was very smart. If they didn't force him to eat no tofu ass pork. You feel me? I would have been like, oh man, this dude, he's ahead of the damn game. You know, but Faisal, once again, bro, downplay your strength, man. I be seeing this dude be working out too damn hard, man. Chill, bro, chill. Swaggy C said it best. He said, well, all these dudes is out here working out trying to get swole, I'm going to wash them all in the next HOH. I was like, yeah. At the end of the day, it don't matter how much you can bench press. A lot of these HOHs is crapshoots. Crapshoots. And you know the next one, they going to make sure it's something that Sam can do, because they would love nothing more, in my opinion, to make sure the next HOH is someone on that other side. And I also want to mention JC. JC, there was a moment where I was actually very happy he was in the game. I thought he had a lot of potential, but he is turning into, and I hate to stereotype someone because I'm always against stereotypes, but let's be real, JC is becoming just another dude on the show who happens to be gay that's a damn rat. He is turning into another Andy. That's all he does. Someone says, hey, man, you can't tell nobody this information, but woo, okay. And he runs on over to the other side and tells them everything. And it's like, JC, what the hell, man? And there's another thing I want to bring up. There was this one scene. Tyler's laying in the bed or whatever like that. It's like 4 of the girls feeling on him and stuff like that. JC comes into the room and puts his hand on the dude's crotch, on his pants, and thought he could get a feel. And see, kudos to you, Tyler. You played the game as smooth as you could. But see, I know, being a super fan, knowing what Genuine went through because of this damn gay agenda, knowing what Genuine went through just to tell a gay transgender person, let me just say transgender because the person might not be gay, they might just be transgender, but just to tell a transgender person, hey man, I'm not trying to kiss you, it turned into a big thing. Why can't you kiss a transgender person? This is the problem with straight men and all this other stuff. So I give you kudos, Tyler, because you played this off as smooth as you could. I would have lost it if a dude comes up and violates my personal space. And see, this is my biggest problem. The same people who have such a problem with Swaggy C, okay, that find him just repulsive, right? These are the same people that will look at what JC did to Tyler and say, but he's harmless. But it's not like he could rape him. He's like 4'7". When has that ever been an excuse to forcefully touch someone? Women, have my back here. If men can't say that the clothes you wear beckon someone to rape thee, which I agree with, I think that entire idea and philosophy is flawed to hell and back. You can wear whatever you want, okay? But if that applies, then we also have to apply this. Because it ain't like Tyler was like, hey, JC, come touch me. He didn't give him permission. And let me flip it. Let's say a woman is in Tyler's position. And let's say there's 4 of the dudes like just touching on her, okay? Then all of a sudden a lesbian comes through and decides to finger bang her. Do y'all just say, oh, it's just a lesbian. She's much weaker than the other 4 men in that room. What if that girl ain't into lesbians, though? See, this is why I call it an agenda, because y'all pick and choose what rape means, what molestation means, what harassment means. It means the same damn thing. You need consent. JC didn't get it, and they won't put that on TV either. They won't put that on TV either. But if that was a straight man doing what JC just did, it'd be on TMZ already. And that's my problem. I want us to be more honest in this community about stuff, okay? The double standard is real. And most of y'all, and I'll agree, I mean, I'll admit it, I sometimes partake in a double standard too to create balance. But let me be real, though. This double standard happens, and y'all are so quick to defend someone based off of how small they are, how big they are, what they lift. None of that matters. You cannot tell who Anyone is, just by a smile on their face. Everyone's putting up a mask. So the fact that no one wanted to hold JC accountable, because he's a fun-loving guy who cracks jokes. He's always asking Angela and Rachel to show their tits. He means well. Once again, it only comes off like he means well because he's as flamboyant as he possibly can be and still have some muscle with it, okay? But let's be real. If Swaggy C partaked in this type of buffoonery, nobody would defend it, even me. So I don't want y'all defending JC. And that's how I feel, you know? And I can't help but notice that the same people defending him hate Swaggy C's side, and they love the fact JC ain't on Swaggy C's side. So really peep game on the agenda going down. And this is why I go out of my way to say, look, if you're gay and black, that's up to you. That's your thing. But I need you to be all in with this black movement before you start fighting those battles, because they can fight those gay battles without you, my brother. We need all of y'all for this black struggle battle. And that's what's really real. You feel me? Because JC right now, he don't self-identify with no one on that other side. He going straight to that side. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it alone. But anyway, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone, coach. I'm gonna leave it alone. All right. Yeah. Why did Steve engage in conversation with Winston about the barrel of a gun? Now, the reason why I'm asking this question is because I think he gave Winston all of the ammunition, no pun intended, all the ammunition Winston needed to go, hey, man, you see the way he was talking to Swaggy C in the bathroom? I was actually eavesdropping on the toilet. They're a little too damn close. And let me also add that Steve has some color to him, okay? I'm not calling him black. I'm not saying he's Filipino. I don't know what the brother is, but he got some color to him. He got a shade and a tint to him. And I can't help but notice they don't want this brother to stay at all. No. And I don't think it has anything to do with them suspecting yet that he's a cop, but he needs to be careful, man. He really needs to be careful. Earlier today, he was getting into it with Scotty about Ghost Rider. It's like, man, none of this stuff matters. Now, I don't know if they're trying to take people off their scent, make them think they're not as close as they really are. I don't know, but I truly do like the Scotty and Steve alliance, though. There's a lot of alliances in this game, like little two-people alliances, that I'm a huge fan of. But individually, I don't find them very interesting. Isn't that weird? You know, like Scotty on his own, I think it's a train wreck. Number one, because his voice is too damn high pitched, and he can't really hold a conversation that has some chill right now. Now, hopefully, when he gathers some footing in this game, he'll be okay. But right now, I'm a little worried for him because when he gets into debates with people, he gets a little too fired up, and they see the competitive side of him come out, and he doesn't really have it in him to just let someone win a debate. At least what I've noticed. He's got a alpha male personality, at least when it comes to comics and stuff. So I just want him to like pull some of that back a little bit and just be like, hey, you can win this conversation. Nicolas Cage was a great Ghost Rider. Let's keep it all the way. Because JC, he just trying to start shit. JC's in the middle of the conversation. You don't like Nicolas Cage? No, I just don't like him in Ghost Rider, JC. I love Nicolas Cage. You know, and it's just like, oh, here we go. And then by the end of the debate, JC finally realizes, oh, I forgot who Nicolas Cage was. You understand what I'm saying? So JC shows people. As soon as the conversation is over, he admits it. He snitches on himself a lot of times that he's a snitch. You feel me? So I wouldn't trust this guy. He's always trying to instigate some nonsense. Always. You feel me? And no one's really going to align to him because of it. And that's why I truly believe the smartest idea for a JC is to get in real close with Rachel and Angela and just tuck behind them and hope that people target the boys on that side first. And hopefully he can pull them away from the remaining of whoever's left. You know, that's really the only strategy that can propel him deep into the game at this point, in my opinion, because he is pissing off people like Swaggy C. And this is another thing that I didn't even mention yet. Bailey is aware of the fact that JC heard some key pertinent information from Faisal and still released it to the other side of the house, right? So my thing is, if Bailey is aware of the fact that JC can't be trusted, why was she the one caping for JC when he was touching on Tyler? The first person to speak up was Bailey. She was like, oh, JC's harmless. Bailey, no disrespect, but I want you to let these motherfuckers dig their graves with people. Man, stop doing all this damage controlling for others when you ain't doing enough of it for your own game. Now, maybe she thinks by doing this, I'm endearing myself to these other people, which is rehabilitating my game indirectly. But in my opinion, JC is gone. He's never coming back because he don't like Swaggy C. So if you're sleeping in the same bed with the dude JC doesn't like, he has no incentive to align with you down the road. Okay, so I want her to realize this and stop caping for JC. Let JC hang himself, coach, because eventually he's gonna snitch on too many people and the cat gonna be out the bag. But you gotta let him hang himself. Don't do none of this fighting for him. No. That's not what I want to see, man. That's not what I want to see at all. But yeah, Scotty and Steve's alliance is really cool, though. I think Scotty is very valuable to Steve from a game perspective in terms of knowing stuff. But I think at the end of the day, people look at that two-person alliance and they go, it looks so weird, the two of them together, that it almost feels like pregame alliance. And you got some people thinking that Angela and Winston could be a pregame alliance. So this might be a season of a whole bunch of people assuming some pregame alliances exist, which may lead to them targeting him. But I wish there was a way for Faisal to use the veto and Bailey couldn't go up. If there was any option of that, this week could be dope. You feel me? If there was a situation. See, in a way, we're almost fucked because Tyler didn't nominate Bailey now in hindsight, because Faisal could have been the one to use it to take her off. It brings him closer to Chris. Haley is already safe. And now they're forced to put up a Caitlyn. And I think at this point, Haley thinks she's expendable. Faisal thinks she's expendable. Swaggy C thinks she's expendable, because all of these people, and honestly, my true opinion on it, I think Haley is just as untrustworthy as Caitlyn, because Haley has more options than Caitlyn. But the thing is, though, Caitlyn pissed off more people than Haley. So if you can manipulate that to your advantage, get Caitlyn to alienate some more people on the other side, now she's your shield. She's your weapon. If you can't get her to do that, however, then she becomes their shield, their weapon to attack you. And I'm worried Haley and Caitlyn gonna flip. I'm worried the next HOH is gonna be someone on that side. Haley and Caitlyn both gonna flip on over. Faisal and Chris are going to be the targets together because they want someone to beat Chris at the veto. And I have a feeling it's going to end up being a Faisal winning it. And Faisal's going to be like, man, I'm sorry, man. I got to take myself off. It leads to Bailey sitting right next to Chris. GG, no re. I'm hoping that don't happen, but it feels like it's going to happen, especially when you get someone 4 weeks to save themselves. Now, granted, she's going to probably have to use the hit this week, because she knows the numbers are against her, okay? So she's going to have to use this thing this week if the veto isn't used, which it shouldn't be used, but she's going to have to use it this week, meaning she loses it after this week. So after this week, Sam is fair game, but that's exactly why we need to pay attention to what Sam is doing after this week, because I have a feeling production is going to make sure she's the 7th number in that level 6 alliance. And as long as she's the 7th number in that level 6 alliance, they have more than enough numbers damn near at that point to guarantee that HOH goes the way they want, because they nominate 2 from the other side. There's 7 over there. There's only 15 in the game at this point. 7 versus 8. You nominate 2, it's 7 versus 6. Now when it comes down to the vote, it's 6 versus 6, because the HOH can't vote. So we could have a 6-6 tie next week. That's what I'm predicting, that we might have a 6-6 tie next week. But once again, that is pending on who wins. You know what I'm saying? If that side wins, the bros, the level 6, I think it could be a 6-6 tie. If the other side win it, it can't be a tie, because it would be 7-5 no matter what. Yep, I think so. So that's how I'm choosing to count that. I think I'm on point, though. I think I'm on point. But someone needs to tell Steve to count better, because there's only 16 players in the, 16 players in the game. There's 1 HOH and there's 2 nominees. So common sense tells you there's only 13 people voting, right? Right? So why is Steve saying the vote's going to be 8-7? Huh? Steve, Now, maybe he's playing down how intelligent he is. Maybe he's playing the long con. Maybe he came up with that vote number because he said, there's no way someone will let me get away with saying that nonstop. I'm just going to keep saying 8-7, 8-7. If it's a tie, 8-7, 8-7. But at the end of the day, nah, bro. It's going to most likely be she saves herself at the last second. But see, that's what I'm really interested in. If she just saves herself, does that mean Steve just goes home? Or does that mean we get a resetted week? Because notice on the actual stipulation of her twist, it says something, if someone has been evicted, you can save them. So here's my thing. Will they get her for shock value and for ratings to go through the roof? Will they make her wait until after the votes are read, after she's eliminated, and then all of a sudden, the Jess shit kicks in, and all of a sudden, everything restarts? Because then if that happens, I'm excited for next week because Steve can stay. Scotty still has his buddy. Swaggy C still has 2 more numbers on his side, and his alliance kept their word because they voted out Sam in order for her to use the damn twist to begin with. So his word is bond with Steve. Steve is going to want to jump through a wall now for Swaggy C and his allies, and I think that's great for every viewer. No matter what your horse is in this race, you want both sides to be mad at each other for as long as possible. When the Big Brother audience was in charge of OTT, the reason why it was such a great season to a lot of people, not only because the representation was pretty good, but it was also because, for the most part, the casual fan who just watches CBS, who's like, oh, let's watch Big Bang Theory, then watch Big Brother. Those kind of people didn't really watch because they don't have all access. So the majority of the people who were voting for these twists, who were voting to get the game to move in a certain direction, all of them were hardcore fans, which led to people strategically voting out certain people depending on what side they were on to keep the numbers right. Then eventually you had this like group of 4 versus this like group of 4 at the end. You feel me? And it made the game very good down the late stretch, down the stretch. Now it eventually got a little rigged for Jason Guy. Let's just call a spade a spade. They tried to rig shit, and that's why the hardcore fan base hit them with a little bit of that karma. And they said, nah, coach, we're going to reward Morgan Willett with this shit, coach. You know, she didn't even really deserve it, but I'm all for going against the establishment, obviously. But yeah, so what I want to know is, why is Caitlyn outing Scotty as a super fan? It feels like every chance I see Caitlyn talking to Scotty, she's like, oh my God, you sound so smart. Like it's almost like she's trying so hard to make sure if Steve leaves, let's make sure Scotty goes right after, right? Which isn't a bad game move. But I think some of it is paranoia on her part because she knows she's pissing off people. So now she's trying to redirect targets. And here's the thing, Caitlyn. I hate to say it this way, but as a white woman in this game, you were gifted a great position, and you just threw the shit away, coach. I'm just being honest. You threw it away. I mean, you had the whole yoga thing. You were basically gift wrapped in alliance with Bailey, Haley, and Angie, okay? But because you were so selfish, okay, you just can't let Faisal be with who he wants. You got to cock block a little bit, okay? And because of you doing this, you are probably going to be the downfall of Swaggy C. See, at first I thought Angie indirectly saved Bailey by pushing so hard for Steve and Sam to not be up. And did you also notice the fact that Swaggy C's side were the side that were pushing for Sam to never go up, and yet Sam, and Bailey's been very nice to Sam over the week too. Let me add that as well. Have y'all noticed Sam, for the most part, doesn't really fuck with that side though? Like she'll fuck with anyone who will talk to her because she's annoying at this point. Like she complains and stuff. You guys saw it on this episode, you know. And I'm just getting tired of a lot of shit that JC is constantly doing things to try to make it on TV or try to get us on pop commercial. Welcome to CBS. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, we get it, bro, but you're trying so hard that you're pissing off the real fans more and more. Because you can tell this dude don't love the shit like that. He's using this as, this could be something that I use to platform up to something else. So he's doing all this dumb promo work during the feeds when we want to see him discuss some damn strategy. You know, so you mean to tell me you're going to be a rat, and when you ain't a rat, you're going to be essentially someone that's out for themselves, just trying to milk their own brand. Like, bro, I thought you already have money, though. You know what I'm saying? He be talking about himself like he already popping, you know? But see, this is why a lot of super fans truly believe that these are paid actors. It's getting to a point where people are starting to believe that this entire cast is paid actors. And I do shit on Big Brother and CBS a lot, but let me give them some credit here. Now that I'm able to watch some feeds, this is one of the more athletic seasons I think I ever remembered. I think everyone in this season, for the most part, I mean, we don't really have anyone who you put them in a comp and they're a liability. I don't think we have anyone like that in this season. You know, even Scotty, I think, is above average athletically for his normal archetype, which would be the super fan nerd guy. You see what I'm saying? So I think from an athletic standpoint, they are definitely pushing. But see, this is why I have another theory. Are they making the talent pool more athletic to set up some type of a challenge versus Big Brother season? Because when you really look at it, challenge don't really pick a lot of people that ain't athletic from their original show. They usually go for people who look the part, and then they got to just hope they're entertaining outside of the challenges. And to a certain extent, I think this is what Big Brother does with their recruits all the time, but they just don't have a pipeline show on the same network to weed them out. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a tough enough Big Brother. You know what I mean? But yeah, everyone thinks everyone else won the power. You know, Tyler knows that Sam pretty much won it at this point, but I mean, Scotty thinks Brett won it. Shoot, I think people thought Faisal won it. I think Faisal made up a lie and told JC he won it. JC snitched on him about a fake lie as it was, just to test the guy. And he ran over and lied about that. I mean, well, snitched about that. So it's just a shame, though, because you would think JC would align with a Faisal. He would look at him and go, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm a powerhouse for my size. I want someone who's a powerhouse for competition and needs someone with a little bit more height. That way, between the two of us, we can dominate some shit. I would like to know what's going through the mind of JC. I think it's 100% production interference because he doesn't have any reasoning behind not working with that group. And it seems like that group is the one that has the most fun. I think the most fun. I think the fun the other side has a little fake fun. And, you know, Rachel, she over here doing cartwheels and backflips and all this stuff. She's a real show off. Now, luckily for her, she's a production's pet and she knows the game really well. So it won't come back to haunt her. But I'd argue Rachel is conducting herself similar to a female Swaggy C because she is making it seem like because her job is a performer, she's got to perform for the house. But no one is looking at her as this cocky person who's overdoing it, who's too big. From a live fan's perspective, it looks like people still kind of like her, right? So I'm just pointing out the double standard here. You know, if Swaggy C had been Winston and came in the same exact way, people would dislike it. But like I said, people were willing to say that it's okay for Swaggy C to come in with a nickname on his shirt just because of Whistle Nut. So when you got people making these excuses based off archetypes that aren't even matchable, that aren't even paralleled, then you know the level of damage control is through the roof, ladies and gentlemen. It's through the damn roof, okay? Now, Swaggy C and Bailey, the new it couple, like I said, they need to lock down Haley. Brett really likes Haley. He wants a showmance with Haley. And see, when Haley, and I really feel bad for Faisal. I know I spoke on this a little, but I feel bad for the brother because I can tell now that I've watched him, I can tell he really likes this girl, man. You know, he really likes her. When he said that innocent comment, I wasn't feeling that shit, and I still don't feel that shit. I'm never going to feel that shit. But at the end of the day, though, he's trying to be more innocent for her. I'll give him that credit, okay? But it's backfired on him. And did y'all peep game earlier on in the episode earlier today? Did y'all peep game when Bailey was essentially saying, oh, if Swaggy like me, then that's going to disappoint me because I'm not really feeling him that way. Did you peep how Haley kind of pushed her to still go after him? I think Haley was like, I think in the back of her mind, she was thinking, if she doesn't get with Swaggy C, she might go after my man Faisal. I gotta keep pushing her towards that direction. And I think that was real sly on Haley's tip, man. You feel me? Hey, if you want something, make sure other motherfuckers can't touch it. You feel me? You know, I think animals pee around things to mark their territory. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. But yeah, I have high hopes for Swaley. We have to hope, okay, for Team Swaley, okay. What we have to hope for is we have to hope they win this next. This next HOH defines the rest of the game, in my opinion. I think it defines the rest of the game because whoever wins the next HOH gets the second best twist available. Well, all right, let me not say they get the second best twist, but they alter the voting of who gets the second best twist because whoever gets the HOH has the most opportunities to get the confessional work, to get the people mentioning them in the first place, which is why I think these competitions could be rigged from the start to go a certain way. So now we have to keep our eyes on stuff, though. If every person from now on that finishes last gets these negative twists, okay, that's one thing. But if they pick and choose who gets these negative twists based off who finishes last at certain moments, we're going to know it's bullshit. And if they do not continue this machine for every single week, we're going to know this was a plot device to help Sam. So right now, they're in a position where they got to continue this for damn near most of the season. And see, I think I can speak for all of the Big Brother fandom when I say I'm already getting tired of this machine shit. Don't get it twisted. There are moments where it's kind of funny. But if you're going to do a 20-minute feature on these damn machines twice a week for the next 3 months, I'm sorry, man. I'm going to get tired of looking at it, B. I get it. Now, I know the idea and the prospects of Swaggy C being in a machine and talking that shit from a machine would be funny. But I don't want to see that brother in the Matrix either. Okay? You know, I don't want to see them making him say stupid lines, winking, all this dumb shit. I don't want to see none of it. Okay. I just think the machine can go now. You know, this season would actually be really fun if the machine didn't exist because Swaggy C would have that ability. And that's my whole point. But yeah, so at the end of the day, I kind of feel bad for Sam a little bit, but considering that I think the game is being rigged for her, it makes me incapable of truly feeling that much compassion for her gameplay because at the end of the day, all she has to do is keep boo-hooing and crying, and she knows she's safe anyway. I'd argue she's only boo-hooing and crying to see if she can save this twist, but she won't be able to save it. It's too many numbers backing up the police officer, which is why we have to hope that this turns into a reset when she uses it, the same way it was supposed to be a reset when Jessica used it. You feel it, dig me? But yeah, so I thought it was interesting how I find it so interesting how so many people dislike Caitlyn, Sam, Angie for doing certain things that every Big Brother player does. But I want them to use that same energy towards the Angelas and the Rachels of the world. If these people can use that same energy, I know for a fact that this season can go from being as racial as it started to being as good as it can be. Y'all can tell by my rant tonight that even though that this episode was trash, it was complete trash. They could have saved that thing for all access. Let's keep it a buck. But even though this episode was trash, the live feeds has been really good. So the glass is half full, ladies and gentlemen. So this has been the 6th rant of Recency Bias Radio Big Brother 20. If you could, please like, share, and subscribe. I promise I will get to answering questions on the first eviction night. I've been holding it back for a big night where I know more people will be around. I'm assuming on a night like this where the episode was very lackluster that people ain't really checking to see some post-show information immediately. Most people are probably on the feeds right now. You know, that's how the first week usually goes. People usually focus more so on the feeds than all of the coverage. But I truly appreciate all of y'all coming through. And if you could, please hit that bell on the right side of my channel's page so you could be here with the most lit live chat in Big Brother 20 history. I was finna say Canada coach. But I am your humble host, Dave Smith. This is Recency Bias Radio. And hold these other channels accountable for trying to use the word rant in they descriptions and shit. I mean, the monetization, man, I get it. You a little thirsty for views, bro, but be yourself. Don't be me. Don't watch me. Watch TV. Y'all be smooth. Enjoy y'all work week. I'm outie. See y'all on Wednesday, coach. You feel me?